Out past the fence where the briars climb, a gravel road pulled loose from time. The maple leaves turned face to face, like they were listening over the place. Boot soles dark with the evening clay, campfire breathing the end of day. And the hills stood back in a quiet line, like they knew this borrowed life of mine. There was a house with a leaning shed, a patchwork quilt and a brass bed, my mother humming by the sink, while summer pressed at the window screen. Now the yard is grass and the gate hangs wide, boards gone soft where the swallows hide. Still the dust on the road can erase all the names from the thinner days, when the light runs low through the cedar trees. Something small in the chest finds ease, not an answer, not a sign, just enough to stand inside. Let the fire burn down the coals, let the dark come close and slow, let the smoke climb out of sight, like a prayer with no reply at night. If this wide world won't make me whole, let it teach me how to hold. Every mile sheds a little skin, leaves you less and lets you in. What stays hidden, what stays true, meets you where the path cuts through. Let the fire burn down the coals, let the dark come close and slow, let the smoke climb out of sight, like a prayer with no reply tonight. If this wide world won't make me whole, let it teach me how to hold. Oh, let the fire burn down the coals, let the dark come close and slow, let the smoke climb out of sight, like a prayer with no reply tonight. If this wide world won't make me whole, let it teach me how to hold. Let the fire burn down the coals, let the dark come close and slow. If this wide world won't make me whole, let it teach me how to hold.
Down a deer trail cut through golden grass, where the shadows lean and the daylight thins. A low fire breeze while the hours pass. cedar limbs, boot soles dark with the dust of miles, stone and root by the creek bedside, far off hills where their patience smiles, while the last light slips from the mountain light. There was an old back porch with a broken screen and a jar of nails by the kitchen door. My father came home with his hands grass green, leaving field dust there on the splintered floor. Now that house lives on in the evening air, in the way the fence casts a crooked shade, in the hush that falls when the road runs bare, back where the child once stayed. When the fire burns low, every truth comes near, not as thunder, not as fear, just a quiet pull through the open land, like a voice with no need to be understood or planned. So let the night come slow and white, let it settle where the old doubts hide. Let the dark reach down through the grass and pine till the small hurt in me falls into line. If I'm only dust in a field this broad, let me rest like dust in the hands of God. Just the earth holding what it knew. Maybe faith is a trail half grown, and a soul made still when it walks alone. Let the night come slow and white, let it settle where the old doubts hide.
Past the low stone wall and the pasture gate, the trail runs thin where the birches wait. The kettle hums on a bed of coal, and the dusk folds in like a woolen shawl. Boot prints fade in the powdery ground, pine smoke drifts without a sound. Far hills darken row by row, like thoughts too old to fully know. Whoa, whoa, there was a porch with a slanted floor, a checkered cloth and a squeaking door. My mother laughed by the sink at noon, while flies kept time to a radio tune. Now the porch is gone and the paint's worn through, vines climb up where the window grew. Still the smell of grass at the close of day brings that vanished world back into play. When the fire burns down and the light burns thin, all the lost years lean back in. Not to trouble, not to blame, just to speak in a quieter name. So let the night come close and slow, like the creek that learned where it had to go. Let the smoke rise up through the cedar seam, like a half-heard line from a younger dream. If I'm small beneath this patient sky, let me be small without asking why. Bright answer in the air, just the weight of being there. Maybe faith is a steady breath and a calm small fire in the face of death. Let the smoke rise up through the cedar seam, like a half-heard line from a younger dream. If I'm small beneath this patient sky, let me be small without asking why. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Beyond the bend where the scrub oaks climb, a footpath slips from the edge of time. The fire burns low in a ring of stone, and the dust draws near like a thing half known. And dry grass leans in when the wind moves through. Smoke threads up in a wavering blue. Far hills wait in the amber light, holding back the weight of night. There was a house with a sloping porch, a can of nails and a rusted torch. My mother sang while the beans would steam, and the screen door sighed like a restless dream. Now the yard grows wild where the fence fell down. Thistle and clover have claimed that ground. Still one turn of road at the close of the day brings that weathered world. When the fire burns small, the heart burns clear. What was distant starts drawing near. Not a sign and not a sound, just a steadier kind of ground. So let the night come slow and deep. Let it gather what I can't keep. Let the dark lay down through the field and pine to the broken and the still alive. If I'm only passing through this blue, let me leave with something true. only dust and a warming hand. Maybe faith is a quiet flame and the strength to stay when none can explain. Dog lay down through the field and pine till the broken and the still align. If I'm only passing through this blue, let me leave with something true. At the edge of the meadow, the fire's hang red. Smoke moved up where the tall limbs spread, like caught gold on the lip of a can, then slipped through the grass like it always has. Out on the ridge where the scrub oak grows, day went dim in a coat of crows. Boot heels rested in dust and shale, while the night came in by the cedar trail. There was a road by the old feed store, past the leaning barn and the kitchen door. We wore it down in our runaway days, with our pockets full of stones and clay. Now that lane lies deep in weeds, half in the dirt and half in me. Still when the dark leaves room to hear those small lost years draw close and clear. Maybe home is the sound of tin, rain in a bucket till wind come in. Maybe faith is a crooked flame, never burns straight but it stays the same. So let me walk where the field road bends, where the fire waits and the daylight thins, small as a spark in the breathing black, with a little smoke and a worn out pack. If the world is wide and it won't slow down, let me keep one path where my soul sits down. Find the stone and grate, ash gone silver where the coals once stayed. Some things fade but they do not leave, they live in the hush between the trees. Let me walk where the field road bends, where the far hill waits and the daylight thins. If the world is wide and it won't slow down, let me keep one path where my soul sits down.
by the cut bank where the tall pines hide. A foot-worn trail climbed the mountainside. Firewood cracked in the falling shade, and the smoke rose thin where the camp was laid. Boot marks pressed in the rust-red ground. No voice at all but the jaybird sound, while the last light clung to the rocks out west, like a hand held still at the edge of rest. There was a porch with a crooked screen, and a field out back growing wild and green. My father whistled at the break of day, then the years like wagons rolled away. Now the barn leans low and the fence gives through, nails gone dark with the rain and dew. Still the road out there through the sumac bends, like it knows where the long old story ends. When the sky grows deep and the fire burns small, every hidden thing comes close to call. Not with thunder, not with flame, just a quiet way of saying my name. Let the night lay down slow over me, through the grass and the cedar tree. Let the white dark come, let the hearts beat plain, like a soft old hymn through the window screen. If I'm small beneath all this blue, maybe small is a kind of true. Every mile takes a little more, leaves it there by a closing door. Oh, what remains when the day goes through is the dust, the breath, and the living blue. Let the white dark come, let the heart speak plain, like a soft old hymn through the window screen. If I'm small beneath all this blue, maybe small is a kind of true.
Down where the black pines lean and sway, a narrow trail untreads the day. Dust on the hem, a match, a spark, a little fire against the dark. The creek kept time beyond the bend, like something broken learning men. And in that hush, the hills made room for all the names I never knew. Back home, the porch was grown at dawn, the screen door singing, then it's gone. Cornfield shining after rain, my brother calling down the lane. Years went by like crows in flight, crossing over out of sight. Still some part of me walks slow where tall grass lets the evening show. The earth is wide, the heart is small, still it keeps on asking all. What stays true when days give way, and who am I when light won't stay? So I lay my doubt beside the flame, watch the smoke and write my name. Let the silence take its time, like an old road humming low and kind. If I'm only passing through, let me leave with something true. Night came down in lines of blue, every shadow letting through, the kind of grace I could improve, only stand beneath and feel it move. So I lay my doubt beside the flame, watch the smoke unwrite my name. Let the silence take its time, like an old road humming low and kind. If I'm only passing through, let me leave with something true.
At the edge of the timberline, evening falls in a slower time. Boot heels hush on the needled floor, past the place where the trucks don't roar. Firelight breathes in a ring of stone, making the dark feel less unknown. And the hills roll out like an old reply, kept for years in the back of the sky. There was a house by a pasture fence, screen door talk and the smell of hens. Muddy jars on the windowsill, late day shade on the far cornhill. And that world slipped off in a quiet way, board by board and day by day. Now every road through the bending grass feels like something I almost passed. Some things leave and they don't return. Some stay low like a coal that burns. And the night comes on so deep, so wide, it can hold both the truth and the light. So I walk till the last light goes, where the tall grass bends and the creek bed slows, with a little faith and a little doubt, like two thin lines where the smoke runs out. If there's a hand in the great unseen, it's in the hush where the day has been. No bright answer fell from above, just the weight of the dirt I love, and a small plain piece that came unasked through the cedar shade and the shadow cast. So I walk till the last light goes, where the tall grass bends and the creek bed slopes, with a little faith and a little doubt, like two thin lines where the smoke runs out. Along the ridge where the long grass bows, the evening slipped through the outer boughs. A small fire took in the fallen pine, and the sparks went up like a crooked sign. Boot dust slept on the cuffs and seams. Smoke lay low in the cooling green. Far off fields in a quiet spread held the last light soft as a feather bed. There was a porch with a sagging screen, a jar of nails and a sewing machine, my father's coat on a kitchen chair, bread on the sill and the window bare. Now the lane runs thin through the weeds and sumac. Posts lean west and the boards give back. Still a turn in the road in the dusk and the clay brings the house and its voices awake. When the dark comes on, it comes real slow, like a hand on the back saying, child, just go. Not toward answers, not toward fame, just toward the place where the heart stays plain. So let the fire burn small and bright, let the hills go blue in the settling night, let the smoke rise thin where the tall trees stand, like a worn out prayer from a working hand. If this life is brief as a field at dust, let me leave it true, let me leave it just. No great sign in the lowering air, just the weight of the world and the mercy there. Sometimes faith is a path through weeds, and a quiet enough soul to hear what it means. Let the smoke rise thin where the tall trees stand, like a worn out prayer from a working hand. If this life is brief as a field at dusk, let me leave it true, let me leave it just. There's a footpath through the cedar shade, where the light falls thin and the air stays late. A kettle sang on a bed of stone, and the smoke grows slow like a prayer half known. Oh, the grass bent down where the hillside dipped. Red dust clung to my boots and slipped. Somewhere far a meadow lil held the evening soft and still. Back then home was a creaking floor, a crooked latch and a weathered door, muddy hands and a tire swing rope, counting stars with a kind of hope. Now the years move on like a river mile, wide and quiet without a trial. Yet a voice from the field comes back to say, not every lost thing goes away. The sky gets big when the fire burns low, and the heart speaks plain where the pines don't grow. What was gone comes near somehow, in the breathing dark, in the here and now. So let the night come easy on, like a hymn too old to still be wrong. Let the shadows move, let the silence stay, let the long road take what it came to take. If the world is wide and I'm passing through, let me carry one small truth. Every trail runs out of sight, still the ground holds firm at night. What I can't name, I don't refuse. There's a little faith in the things we lose. So let the night come easy on, like a hymn too old to still be wrong. Let the shadows move, let the silence stay, let the long road take what it came to take. If the world is wide and I'm passing through, let me carry one small truth. Let the shadows move, let the silence stay, let the long road take what it came to take. If the world is wide and I'm passing through, Let me carry one small truth.
Where the footpath leaves the rutted lane, past the sumac red and the sweet cut cane. Evening gathers in the pines, slow as smoke in the slanting light. Campfire cracks in a ring of stone, making a small, rough world its own. And the hills turn blue beyond the fence, like they're holding back what they won't confess. There was a porch with a sagging rail, a coffee tin full of bent up nails. My mother humming above the stove, my father dusted in field rolled gold. Now the gate hangs loose and the paint's worn thin. Now the gate hangs loose and the paint's worn thin. Vines move through where the boards gave in. Still the smell of grass at the drop of day brings that old house back in a steady wave. When the daylight thins and the fire burns red, all the unsaid things rise up instead. Not to wound, not to accuse, just to ask what the years let loose. So let the dark come down, soft and slow, like a hand on the back, saying you can't let it go. Let the smoke climb high where the tall limbs part. Let the night make room in a crowded heart. If I'm small in the face of the great unknown, let me stand here still, let me stand my own. Sign in the widening air, just the weight of the world and the mercy there. Maybe faith is a trail worn thin, and the grace to walk it again and again. Let the smoke climb high where the tall limbs part. Let the night make room in a crowded heart. If I'm small in the face of the great unknown, let me stand here still, let me stand my own.
Up where the footpath leaves the pines, past the fallen fence and the crooked signs. A small fire stirred in a ring of stone, and the dust drew near like a thing half known. Dry grass bowed in the breathing breeze. Smoke climbed slow through the shadow trees. Far hills held in the deep blue light what the day let go to the hands of night. There was a porch with a sagging chair, a screen door loose in the summer air. My mother sang at the kitchen sink. My father stood at the fence and thought, now that place is a field of weeds, posts gone soft and overgrown seeds. Still one turn in the road at dusk brings it back through the grass and dust. When the fire burns low, the heart burns clear. What was far away comes close and near. Not in thunder, not in a flame, just a quiet pool without a name. So let the night come soft and slow, like a creek that knows where it has to go. Let the smoke rise thin where the tall limbs part. Let the wide world lean on a weathered heart. If I'm only small beneath this sky, let me be small and alive tonight. No bright sign in the darkening air, just the weight of the world and the mercy there. Maybe faith is a path worn through, and the grace to walk when you can't see through. Let the smoke rise thin where the tall limbs part. Let the wide world lean on a weathered heart. If I'm only small beneath this sky, let me be small and alive tonight.
At the edge of the pines where the dirt path bends, daylight thinned out slow in strands. The kettle hissed on a ring of stone, and the fire threw sparks like scattered bones. The tall grass leaned in with a patient sound. Smoke moved low to the listening ground. Far off hills held back the night like they knew how to carry a fading light. was a yard with a rusted swing and a back door loose on a broken spring. My mother's hands in a bowl of beans, dust on the sill and the radio clean. Now that house lives only when the cedar shakes and the fields go dim. Something in the road, in the amber air, brings it back like it was still there. When the dark comes close, it don't come fast. It moves like an old song over grass. What is gone is never gone. It leans in low and it lingers on. So let me walk where the firelight is, where the smoke goes up and the silence bends. Let me stand in the wide unknown with a borrowed breath and a weathered soul. If I'm small in the hand of night, let me still be small enough for light. No loud sign and no clear word, just a distant wing, a turning bird. Faith may be no more than this, a quiet field and the will to listen. Let me stand in the wide unknown with a borrowed breath and a weathered soul. If I'm small in the hand of night, let me still be small enough for light. Past the pasture where the fence runs down, a narrow path leaves the edge of town. Pine smoke lifts from a crooked flame, and the dust comes in without a name. Boot soles worn by the fields and stones, jaybirds calling through the cones. Far hills hold what the day let go, in a quiet line, in a fading glow. There was a house with a chimney lean, porch light caught in the window screen. My mother laughed through a pot of beans, while the radio hummed in the in-between. Now the drive is grass and the paint is gone. Steps sink low where the rain moves on. Still the smell of dust when the sun dips west brings that old place back to my chest. When the fire burns down, the dark gets near, and the smallest thoughts come sharp and clear. Not like thunder, not like blame, more like being known without a name. So let me walk where the tall grass bends, where the light runs out and the silence mends. Let me keep one ember when the night comes through,
one steady spark, one faithful blue. If the world is wide and the road is long, let me lose my fear and keep my song. No bright sign in the cedar air, just the way to breathe in there. Maybe faith is a quiet road, and a heart made still enough to hold. Let me keep one ember when the night comes through, one steady spark, one faithful blue. If the world is wide and the road is long, let me lose my fear and keep my song. Past the mile with a guardrail ends, a gravel road starts making bends. You see the shade in the yellow room, where the light moves slow and the fields make room. A kettle sings on a bed of flame, smoke climbs up and thins the same. And the dust comes down so white, so plain, it loosens the knot I could not name. Oh, oh. Back in the years of a smaller house, screen door slamming, a quiet mouth, by the steps and a coffee tin, rain on the roof and the radio dim. Now every ridge in the evening haze looks like a shape from those far-off days, as if the land keeps a careful trace of all we lose and all we face. Some things go like the creek runs by, some stay low where the embers lie, and the dark rolls in without a sound, like a bigger hand laid on the ground. So I sit where the fire burns red, stars unrolling overhead, and a little faith and a little fear, like two worn tracks that brought me here. If there's a voice in the endless night, it comes through grass and a fading light. No thunder spoke, no hillside stirred, just smoke in the pines and a half-heard word that the heart grows slow, but it still grows true, where the earth stays close and sky shines through. So I sit where the fire burns red, with the stars unrolling overhead, and a little faith and a little fear, like two on tracks that brought me here.
There's a blackened ring of cedar by the edge of Miller's Field, where the smoke climbs slow at sundown and the darker things grow still. Boots beside the fire, small gravel in the heel, night birds in the fence line, calling what they feel. The road beyond the pasture bends out of sight, like a thought a man keeps turning in the middle of the night. Somewhere past the tall grass and the rusted wire gate, the years go on ahead of us and do not stop to wait. Wide as mercy feels, and the world began in tree lines and the turning of the wheels. Home was just a porch light and a screen door in the wind, a name called through the twilight, then called back again. Now the same moon rises over cut hay and stone, and every mile I've ever walked says nobody is known. Is known by rain, the way the pines know shade. Still something in the quiet says a life is being made. So I lean into the silence like a branch against the breeze, half in doubt and half believing there's sense in what I need. Even lost the ground remembers every step beneath the leaves, and the fire throws gold on the smoke and dust, and the dark comes down without asking us. There's a hand in the hush, though I can't say where, just the weight of the night and the open air. If a truth lives anywhere, it lives out here. Morning finds the ashes and a thin, untroubled light. Every question left beside me still unbroken in the pine. I don't need a clean road, I don't need a clear sign, just a little room to listen while the day begins to rise. And the fire throws gold on the smoke and dust, and the dark comes down without asking us. There's a hand in the hush, though I can't say where, just the weight of the night and the open air.
out where the pines lean over the bend. The trail keeps on without needing an end. And dust on my boots and a map gone soft. Smoke from the fire curling slow aloft. The fields lie still like a held back word. Nothing to fix, nothing loud to be heard. Just crows in the fence and the creek runs sound. And miles of evenings settling down. There was a house with a porch out back, tall grass bending by the railroad track. A screen door side with the western breeze. Names cut small in the bark of trees. Time did not leave with a slam or shout. It wore the steps and it thinned us out. Now every hill in the falling light looks like a place I once knew by sight. Some things fade like ash in the rain. Some stay warm in the ribs the same. In the dark it's wide when the day is through. Big enough to ask what's true. So I walk where the ground stays plain, through the cedar hush and the pasture green, with a little faith and a little doubt, like two low flames when the fire burns out. If there's a meaning, it speaks this way, soft through the grass at the close of day. Sky above, just breathing smoke and the weight of love. For the dirt, the road, the passing air, and the quiet fact that I'm here. So I walk where the ground stays plain, through the cedar hush and the pasture green, little faith and a little doubt, like two low flames when the fire burns out.
Past the thornwood fence and the scattered seeds, a small fire breathed in a ring of stone, making the dark feel less alone. Pine smoke rose through the older air. Night came down with patient care, and the hills stood still in a violet line, like they kept their watch 1,000 times. a porch with a peeling rail, a coffee can full of a bent old nail. My mother sang at the close of day while the dishwater steamed and the light turned gray. Now that place lives on in the smell of rain, in the squeak of wood and the window pane, and the road runs back through the field somehow to the child I was and the man here now. When the fire burns low and the shadows start, every quiet thing finds the heart. Not with noise, not with a sign, just a steady pull through the pines. So let the night come slow and deep, let it gather what I can't keep. Let the smoke go up where the lost words go, through the cedar dark and the afterglow. If I'm only small in this world so wide, let me walk it plain with my hands untied. No bright answer came in sight, just the woods and a little light. Maybe faith is a trail worn through, and in the strength to stay when the sky stays mute. Let the smoke go up where the lost words go, through the cedar dark and the afterglow. If I'm only small in this world so wide, let me walk it plain with my hands untied.
Beyond the bend where the brambles climb, the trail goes thin through a stand of pine. A lantern hums by a bed of coals, throwing gold on the cedar poles. The field breeze out in the falling shade, dust hangs low where the light has frayed, and the road runs on like a quiet thought to the very edge of the things I saw. There was a porch with a sagging screen, a painted swing and a patch of beams. My mother's voice in the supper steam, my father lost in a far-off dream. The place went dim in a gradual way, board by board and day by day. Now every hill in the amber haze turns me back to those smaller days. Some names fade when the years go by, some stay lit like a firefly, and the sky grows deep where the last birds wheel, big enough for the truth to feel. So I stay where the slow flames rise, where the smoke goes thin in the open sky, sounds like wind through the grass and stone. No clear sign in the dark was shown, just the good earth under skin and bone, and a peace that came when the talking ceased, like the pines themselves had let me breathe. So I stay where the slow flames rise, where the smoke goes thin in the open sky, with a little faith and a little ache for the roads we choose and the turns we take.
Down where the blacktop gives to dirt, past the weeds in the fence line shirt of an old scarecrow with a crooked grin. The evening gathers thin by thin. Pines stand back in a patient row, catching the last of the amber glow. And the fire lays low in a ring of stone, like it learned with time to burn alone. There was a yard and a length of wire, a father's hands in a cut-lock fire, a dog that slept by the porch all day, and summer dust in the doorway sweat. Now the road runs out where the fields begin, and the years ride quiet beneath my skin, till every mile and every sign feels half like yours and half like mine. Some truths arrive and lose their name, some stay behind like a coal and flame, and the sky gets deep where the light falls through, wide enough to carry you. So let the tall grass lean and part, let the night air open up this heart, with a little trust and a little ache, like a slow back road by a darkened lake. If grace comes near, don't come loud, it comes bent low in a drifting cloud. Ooh, no clear bell ringing, no banner raised, just smoke and breath and a life half blazed, and a small voice left when the day is done, saying stay away.